Hello and welcome to a new series that I am starting where I am going to make the 7 into custom dolls. Yay! So, if you don't know anything about me, the one thing you do need to know is I am obsessed with Dimension 20. Like, it's slightly ridiculous. I love Dimension 20 a lot. If you don't know what Dimension 20 is, it's an actual play where they play mostly Dungeons and Dragons. They started playing other mechanics as well, but it's mostly Dungeons and Dragons. I have watched all the seasons. I have done cosplays from it. I do a lot of fan art from it. And I've already actually made dolls from it as well. I've made the bad kids from Fantasy High, the first season. So you can look at those dolls if you want. They're on my Instagram, shameless plug. So go check those out. And I've technically already made Ostentatia from the 7 because I made those dolls to gift the Dimension 20 crew when they came to the UK for the UK tour. So I don't have Ostentatia anymore. She's in America with Izzy. But I still wanted to make the rest of the 7 as a set. I thought that'd be really, really cute. And who knows, maybe, hopefully, one day I get to gift it to the rest of the 7 crew as well. That'll be really, really fun and cool. But for now, I'm just going to make them because I think that's fun and I want to do that. So the doll I'm going to start with, or I guess the second doll I'm going to do, because the first one I started with Ostentatia. Doesn't matter. The first one I'm starting with on this channel for this series is Danielle. She is the half-elf druid of the team, and she is played by Erika Ishii. And I love that person so much. I think they're so fun. Every character they do in Dimension 20 is always a hoot and a holler. Also, she hopefully shouldn't need much changing around for the doll, because the other dolls I think I might have to Frankenstein some other dolls together to make, but this one I should only need one doll. The only thing I need to do is make a bunch of like mushrooms, make her clothes, do her hair, and make a staff as well. That I'm very looking forward to. But yeah, stick around and let's see how this goes. So the base doll I'm going to use for this is this Draculaura doll from G1. I got it from a bundle where I think the person was also a customizer because it came already blank with no hair. Her legs are kind of funky. I think maybe her legs fell off at some point and they reattached them with some like elastic in between. So her legs are kind of floppity, but you know, it's fine. It's the only Draculaura doll I have, so we're going to use it. She already has like the little spiky ears, like a little half elf, so I'm going to leave that. So yeah, let's get on to making her some clothes before we do the repaint. So in order to make the clothing, I basically just made a bunch of rectangles and gathered them. Her dress is pretty simple that way, which I'm so thankful for because I'm not good at sewing clothes. But yeah, a bunch of rectangles, sew them together. I tried to put some elastic in it as well. I have this thin elastic. It kind of snapped in certain places, so I had to reattach it, but it's fine. I also could have gotten my sewing machine out to sew this. There's something about sometimes I'm just in the zone and I just want to sit there and do it by hand, even though it's not like perfect. It's just less fiddly and I have more control over it. So yeah, I hand sewed this dress together. You can see me make mistakes and try to fix it after, but it's fine. Then, in order to make her staff, I actually have foam clay now, and foam clay is amazing. It's my new favorite thing. I got like the cheap stuff that you get in like kids kits, so I got a bunch of different colors, so I'm just using whatever color I already have open, which happens to be red. I'm gonna use a bamboo skewer in the middle to just make it more secure, and I'm gonna like try to mold this kind of organic branch shape that her staff comes into. Like foam clay is very soft, so it's not great for doing very, I think, structured molding, but something very organic like a branch, I think it's perfect for, and it's so lightweight. The doll holds it very easily. So I usually use air dry clay to make doll accessories, or like not epoxy sculpt, sometimes epoxy sculpt, but thermo clay, oven clay, and that stuff can get quite heavy even though it's quite small, and the doll can't like lift up properly. With this this clay is so light, it works really well. I also used it to make some mushrooms, which I'm going to stick all over her outfit. One thing I will say about this clay is it doesn't hold shapes very well. So if you want to like put the like rivets into it for like the wood texture, it doesn't want to stay there very well. So something like epoxy sculpt would hold that better. But again, for the lightness of the staff, I really like the foam clay. Now it's on to the painting part. So for this, I'm going to paint her dress because she has like a cool embroidery parts on it. I could have embroidered it. I'm not good at embroidery. I don't really know how to do that, and it's very, very small. So I was like, I'm just gonna paint it on, and it will be fine. So I painted on that. I also ended up painting on all the like leafy bits. I painted on all the like mossy bits as well, because she's very like dirty and earthy. So I definitely wanted that to like pull through on the outfit. And then I also painted a mushroom and a staff, just browns, blacks, some like orangey colors. I just kind of keep trying to pull and push the contrast, really get into like the grooves that I put into the staff to try and make it look more natural. It's an easy way to kind of make things look slightly more realistic. I'm acting like I know what I'm doing. I'm giving you any kind of advice, but I try, guys. I'm trying. But yeah, just highlights, lowlights, try to get all the texture out of it. For the mushrooms, I just kind of look at the reference and I tried to make it look more like a mushroom. They're kind of cartoony even in the picture, so I'm not too worried about them being super accurate. Also, they're extremely small, so it's very hard to paint. So I'm trying my best. Then once that is all dry, I stick all the mushrooms onto her dress and onto the staff as well. I use OOAK glue, and then I also put a little bit of Mod Podge over those connections as well, just to kind of keep it a little bit more secure, because Mod Podge dries clear. I think OOAK is a little bit more stronger, but Mod Podge is good for like a good like blanket area. Another cool thing I try to do with this is I have some glow-in-the-dark paints. They're not the best in the world, but they're really cool and I really want to use it on this project. So I put glow-in-the-dark paint all over the mushrooms. I end up putting it all over the staff as well and all the leaves. It doesn't work very well, like it's not very strong, and you have to really charge it in light before it shows up. I can't get it to show up on the camera properly, but believe me, in real life it looks really cool if you put her under a light source for a little bit. But promise me, it looks cool. I mean, I promise you, listen, words, hard. I'm better at dolls, and I'm barely good at that. So the shoes that I paint for this doll, I think they're Ashlyn Ella shoes from Ever After High. I'm not sure though. I have so much just doll stuff in a box, and I don't know whose is whose anymore. But these ones are really cool because they have like leaves on them and little like viney bits. What I really like about Monster High and Ever After High shoes is, even though usually they only printed in one color, if you take the time to like paint them and lift those little details up, those shoes look so cool, and I really like how these shoes come out. Again, I didn't do the model on it, so I can't really take what's the word, like full ownership of how cool they came out, but I basically try to make all those leaves really pop, and the shoes just look so cute in the end. I love them, and I cover it in Mod Podge to seal it, and I mix in that glow in the dark paint again. You have to like do a lot of the glow in the dark paint to make it show up. Like you have to really thickly put it on, and it dries kind of transparent, so it kind of see through, which is why you've put so much on it, just to make it kind of glow. But again, you have to charge it for so long, but it was still worth it because I still think it looks cool in the end, even though it doesn't glow for very long. Okay, next thing we have to do is reroot this doll. Usually I like using yarn and making yarn wigs, but I actually don't have any black yarn right now, but I do have black like Kanekalon here from like old braiding, like my own braiding projects that I have. I just had some black laying around, so I was like, I'm going to use that, that's what I have right now. I paint her scalp in black first, so that way if there's any gaps in the reroot, it doesn't poke out too much. And for the reroot tool, I got this off of eBay. I had another one that I think I got off Etsy a while ago, but that one broke, so I got a new one. It's fine. It doesn't go, like, I'm not good at rerooting just because I get things stuck in it a lot and I get the hair tangled up a lot, which is why I don't like doing it. But it works for this project, so it's fine. Also, you have to remember to fill in the parting much more thicker than you think you need to. I thought the parting thick enough. After I boiled this, you're gonna find out I did not. I should have used all the hair I had left. I thought I filled it in enough. You never fill it in enough. You always have to fill it in like twice as much than you think. I promise you. For this, I use white glue to also seal the inside. Again, that's all I have. It's PVA glue basically. I don't know if PVA glue and white glue are the same thing. I think they are, but I'm not too sure. I put that inside of the head, and I also put the head upside down because PVA is so runny that if you put it upside down, which is what I used to do, the glue will seep into the root of the hair, like on the outside, and then it'll make the hair stick up, which you don't want. So I pull it the right way around and let the glue drip out of the neck hole while it dries, and I do that like overnight. Then she gets all sealed up into her head wrap, and then I give her some sprays of MSC so I can start doing the face up. Now for this doll, because Dracula is so like pinky, I feel like she's a very unhuman type of pink. I know some people use that pink for like a human skin tone. I think she still looks very undead in this shade of pink, and Danielle's like a human peachy skin tone person. So I decided to use some like kind of browns and peachy colors to blush it, to try and make her look more like a person and less like an undead not zombie, like undead vampire. It kind of works. It doesn't really. It kind of just makes her look dirty. But again, because she is a dirty person, like she's a druid, she loves being in the dirt. I don't know when's the last time she had a shower. So it's fine in the end, but maybe not. Maybe I won't recommend it. I also went a little bit too heavy on like the red blush around her joints. I do rub that out in the end and try to redo it. And for the face up, again, I don't know what happened. I think it's because it's been kind of humid lately in the UK, or in London anyway. I couldn't get the MSC to want the pencils to pick up. I think I ended up doing 2 or 3 layers on the first layer just to try and get the pencils to show up, and they didn't want to do it. And I was getting really frustrated because sometimes you can just do 1 spray and the pencils work. This time I had like 2 or 3 sprays, the pencils still didn't want to work. I do keep trying to build up with the pencils. I know sometimes you do have to do multiple layers before the pencil really like pows. But I didn't have the time for that. I didn't have the patience for that. I just wanted to get this done in this day. So I end up doing a different technique, which I'll show you in a little bit. Also, I usually use a putty rubber to rub out bits of the face that I don't want. I couldn't find it though. I have 2 putty rubbers. I have no clue where either of them are. So I chip off a little bit of my regular rubber and try to use that to erase things on the face. The eyebrows actually came out pretty okay. Because they're black, I think it's fine. Using the pastels as a base before you really go in with the eyebrows hopes you just get them more symmetrical. And thankfully, I think I was able to achieve that. I'm also so sorry that nothing is in frame for most of this video. I didn't realize things weren't in frame while I was doing it. I thought I was in frame the whole time. I just wasn't looking at my camera phone as I was doing it. I was looking at the doll. So I'm really sorry. Maybe I'll just skip over some of these parts because it's so out of frame. There's really no point in this. So yeah, what you can see I end up doing here is I use some very small paintbrushes. The paintbrushes I used to use with like acrylic paint, 3 paint faces before I had MSC. I'm going to use these with my pencils to lift up the pigment and then paint it on the doll. I really like using this method because it's still watercolor. If I do mess up, I can just water activate again and wipe it off. Also, I just think I get the pigment on really, really strongly this way, and it is quicker, which I love quickness. Again, I have no patience. I think I'm just kind of a little bit more used to it. I do wish the pencils worked a little bit more, but again, the pencils this day, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. Could I have waited to the next day or maybe the next week? Maybe, but it's London weather. It was probably going to rain again. I didn't want to chance it. I just wanted to get the doll done, okay? I can't leave the doll on my desk for 2 weeks waiting for the rain to stop raining, you know? I do use some acrylic colors in little bits here and there just as a real like strong pop of color, especially with like the whites of the eyes and the little like reds around the eyelashes. Her eyes, I tried to make them kind of droopy's the wrong word, sleepy. I want her to look sleepy because she's probably on some substances. So I always picture her being kind of like away with the fairies, that kind of personality. So I really wanted her to have like more sleepy looking eyes. Her lips I wanted more natural. I don't think she really wears makeup. I think I went too dark with the line in the middle, but it's fine. She'll live. I mean, she's not alive, but even more so, she'll live. Now when I'm done, I do spray her again with some MSC just to seal her. And on the next day, I undo the head wrap, and all my pins are covered in rust for some reason. I'm not sure what happened with that. I don't know, again, because it's like wet and humid, so they got really rusty. I've never had my pins go rusty like that inside of the doll head. But yeah, they're rusty. I took out the pins, and I put the head back on the body almost immediately because I was kind of scared the head might crack if I wait any longer, because sometimes MSC does that. I probably should have waited till after I oil the head, because you're going to see in a moment, I did not reroute her very well. Oh gosh. Oh! Ah. Okay. Well, my hair is, you can see it now, so that's not great. Then again, I braided it, so hopefully to give us some curls and twists. Oh, it looks so funny. Oh, and she's so hot. Is her face okay? Her face is okay. She'll live. She'll live. So yeah, after that slightly traumatic boil wash, I undo the braids to see if like the twists or like the curliness kind of stay, and it does. It's a bit messy, but again, she's a messy druid hippie chick, so hopefully it works. I really need to get some yarn. I need to go back to doing yarn. I'm really bad with actual hair fibers like this, but I spent some time trying to style her hair a bit. I need to give her like the little braid. I also wanted like her hair to kind of have a anime floop in the front a little bit, which I was struggling to do, so I end up using glue in the end to kind of make that stay in place. I also trimmed the hair obviously to make sure it's a little bit neater because the hair was just flying everywhere. Again, I don't think I should have used Kanekalon for this. I think I should have either used like nylon doll hair or yarn. Just use yarn. Yarn is so easy to style for something like this. It's just hard to get it's hard to get acrylic yarn to be long because you have to brush it out and you lose a lot of the fibers. But it's just better. Personally, I just think it's better. And again, I tried to do this all on the camera and be in frame. I'll get better at remembering to make sure everything's in frame. I also need to like get an actual camera. I use my phone to film all of this, and I have like an old, I think I've had this phone for like 3-4 years, and it's like an old Hmeuest that I bought for like £200 because I'm a cheap B word. So if anyone wants to give me some money so I can buy an actual, filming camera, login type camera, that would be nice. Then I might be able to get some actual nice shots and be able to have things in focus a little bit better. I don't know. So I do try to use the hot chopstick method to style the hair. This is actually a broken needle, but it's the same theory. It didn't really work. I do end up using my hair straightener straight on the hair. Shouldn't do that because it does melt the hair. But I did it anyway because I really want the hair to like stay in that shape, specifically right at the front. It also the chopstick method didn't super work. It was kind of working, but it wasn't really staying as neat as I wanted it to be. So I do end up using glue to keep this all in place. And you have to listen. The only way to hold it still sometimes is to do it in between my thighs. So camera change. It looks weird, but this is the only way I knew how to do it, and I'm sorry. Okay, so this part I left to the end because I want to make sure the hat actually fit over her hair after it was styled. And this is why I wasn't too fussed that her hair reroot isn't that great, because it's going to be covered with a hat, so you're not going to see it anyway. I try to make like her beret out of some red, I don't know what it is, cotton. It's probably like an old pillowcase I've cut up or something. I think I end up making 2 hats because I do this so badly. I should take measurements and things, but I just kind of eyeball things and I just wing it. I sew things together and I see how it works, and if it works badly, I'll sew another one. That's just how I do. It's how I do. You would think, as someone who's doesn't have a lot of patience, I would plan things so it doesn't take as long, but I would prefer something take twice as long and me make no plans. I don't understand what that means about my brain. Probably that it's a bad brain. Whoops. Now, one thing I did realize I don't have any of is leaves. I should have maybe made some leaves out of foam clay, but I kind of had this little idea where I can maybe get some fake leaves. So yeah, after stealing a bunch of leaves from my desk setup, I cut them all up and I stick them onto the doll and her dress. They're like the perfect ties. So I was just like, you won't notice that leaves are missing from my desk, so it's fine. Again, I used the OOAK glue to stick them on, and then I put a little bit of Mod Podge to keep them securely in place. I also put more glow in the dark paint on the leaves. Again, I want everything to glow. I think it'll be really cool if the druid glows in the dark. Okay. Also, as a finishing touch, I ended up adding some glossy varnish to her eyes and lips, just to add a little bit of life back into the doll. And with that, the doll is done! I'm so happy with how she came out. She's pretty simple, which is why I started with her. But I still just I really like it. I like all the mushrooms. I like all the little painting. I like her staff. Her hair exists, and that's good. It exists, and that's good. But yeah, you guys tell me which doll you want me to do next. Some of them I actually don't have the base dolls for yet, but let me know anyway, and I'll see what I can do. I also might do a Halloween doll next because Halloween's coming up, but we'll see how much effort I can be bothered to put into that. Also, my next con is going to be MegaCon Farnborough. If you don't know, I sell things at markets in the UK. So if you're in the UK and you're near Farnborough in the beginning of October, come and say hi. I've never been at Farnborough before. Well, no one has because it's a new con. But yeah, come say hi, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, remember to like and subscribe and do all those fun YouTube things. I'm new here. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, just please do that if you like this. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.